Hi, and welcome back to Hymnology. I'm glad you've brought us in today. Good to be with you. I want to take a look at a hymn today that tries to put words into something that can't be put into words. In this case, I think the melody is just as important as the words because it carries us and lifts our hearts to a place where our words aren't quite enough to say how we feel. See, the hymn I have in mind, of course, officially is called My Savior's Love. But that's because that's the subject of the song. You probably know it as How Marvelous, How Wonderful is My Savior's Love, because those are the words that we repeat in the chorus. Now, just by way of background, Charles Gabriel was a very gifted and prolific composer. We've spoken about him before here on Hymnology. We've spoken of other hymns he's written. He's often called the father of gospel music. As a matter of fact, he wrote somewhere between 7,000 and 8,000 hymns. Mostly just the tunes, but you'd know them all by name if I named them off. But today's hymn is one in which he wrote both the music and the words. But let's get back to the theme of the hymn. If you know me, you know that I have a list of words I call wonder words. Now, these are words that defy definition. Words like awesome, wonder, adoration. You can't describe what they mean. But today I want to look at a hymn that builds itself on three of those words: amazement, wonder, and marvel. Now, when was the last time you were really amazed by something? I mean, truly amazed. I have to admit, when I watch a good magician, or I should say an illusionist, I'm amazed at what he can do because I know that I don't really see what I think I'm seeing, but yet I can't figure out how he does it. David spoke of amazement in the Psalms when he praised God for his amazing goodness by promising to put David's seed on God's throne forever. As a matter of fact, for those who follow regularly, you'll know that it was God's grace toward David that inspired John Newton to write Amazing Grace. So when I sing that I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus the Nazarene, there's more here than I can absorb. I stand amazed in the presence of Jesus. Now, that's more than I can really handle. But Charles Gabriel takes it just a step further and he says, I wonder how he can love me. I'm a sinner, condemned, unclean, undeserving to be in his presence, and yet here I am, surrounded by his love, his mercy, and his grace. How marvelous, how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. And look how he interjects himself into the picture. For me, it was in the garden that he prayed, not my will, he said, but thine. It was for me. This was personal. The garden was specifically for me, my good over Jesus' good. He took my sins and my sorrows and he made them his very own. He bore my sins to Calvary and suffered and died alone. Then he stands back and he looks at it all in wonder, and with words that really can't describe it all, Gabriel says, how marvelous, how wonderful. And my song shall ever be how marvelous and how wonderful is my Savior's love for me. I don't know if there's another hymn that so clearly puts into words the wonder of God's love. Sometimes we try to use simple terms to describe complicated thoughts, but God's love is so marvelous and so wonderful that we really can't imagine anything like it. So let's not try to put words into it. Let's not try to define it. Let's just try to believe it without understanding it. Let's leave it as something yet to be understood, yet to be grasped, and simply stand amazed, filled with wonder, overwhelmed by awe, and marvel at my Savior's great love. Now, if this is news to you, please drop me a note, hymnology@gmail.com, or leave a comment below and I'll get back to you. In the meantime, be sure to look up some of our other videos on our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. I look forward to seeing you next time. God be with you till we meet again.